Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Wednesday, the 15th day of July. It is National I Love Horses Day, National Tapioca Pudding Day. I like that. Heidi's not a fan. National Pet Fire Safety Day. What in the world does that mean?
I have
So you
no
teach your
idea.
pets how not to play with matches? I'm not really sure.
Idea. Maybe have a safety plan to get your pets out of the house in case of a fire.
That makes a lot more sense than what I said. National Gummy Worm Day today. I love those as well. And it's National Give Something Away Day today. I wish I would have planned ahead because I'd know what I'm giving away right now. But I am going to give something away today. I don't know what. Register on our Facebook page. I have no clue what you're going to win, but I'll think of something.
Okay.
Does that sound like a really bad idea?
Usually your ideas are really bad ideas, but
don't
we'll run
get
with
your
it.
heart set on anything nice. I'm just going to put it there. It might just be, I'll clean off the desk here and send that to you. But I'll give you something. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. We also have a guest coming up on the program, Lisa Whelchel. She was on Facts of Life, and now she's got a new program. We talked to her about it like a year ago. It's called Collector's Call on MeTV. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. According to a new survey, most Americans are still willing to help out strangers and perform acts of kindness towards others. So they're saying most people will help you if you need help. That's a good thing. There are some people that have been burned and they're like, no, not helping anybody because last time I did, found out that they didn't really need help. We've been down that road. We had a guy that lived with us and lied to us for a long time, and then we found out. But you know what? We would probably fall right in the same trap again tomorrow.
I would not let somebody live with me.
Really?
Again. No.
Yeah, I probably would. If they needed a place. I'm just saying.
When you've got your bachelor pad, you can have fun with that.
Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. A man in his 50s escaped from a New Zealand coronavirus quarantine facility, cut through a fence to get to a liquor store. Yeah, the man who arrived from Sydney, Australia, July the 1st, cut through ties in a 6-foot fence to break out of a temporary managed isolation facility in the Distinction Hotel. Says here, all people entering New Zealand must stay in a managed isolation or quarantine for at least 14 days, and then they need to test negative before they let them go, before they're allowed to move freely. But several arrivals to the country so far have absconded from these facilities. That's what the word says, absconded.
You couldn't get somebody to deliver him some booze? That seems... Or
You would
the
think
hotel
so.
doesn't have a bar?
I don't know. In a statement released on Friday, it says here, head of managed isolation and quarantine said the man, who had so far tested negative twice, was in police custody and due to appear in court. He wanted to go get some booze, and he was willing to go to jail over
it. It's just cruel and
it.
unusual punishment to lock him up in a place where there's not access to something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure... I don't know. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. A new 3-part docuseries follows comic Amy Schumer's complicated pregnancy with her and her husband, Chris Fisher's son, Gene, as well as her planning a new special while continuing to tour. So they decided we're going to do a 3-part docuseries about, what it's like going through all of that and getting ready for this. And interesting idea. It's on HBO Max. NBC is reviving the quiz show, The Weakest Link. Remember that?
I didn't like that.
You are the weakest
I'm
link.
not a huge game
Goodbye.
show person anyway. You love that
Guess who
stuff.
the host is going to be?
Who?
You're going to love this. Jane Lynch. You love Jane Lynch.
I do love Jane Lynch.
She's set to take over as the host. The new version of The Weakest Link will deliver the fast-paced and quick-witted pillars of the original British format created by the BBC. With a few modern twists, the hybrid game show will see contestants answer general knowledge questions to bank prize money across multiple rounds, with contestants voting out the weakest link at the end of each round. So I'm going to see if I can get on that show because, I would be the weakest link. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Denver-based Boom Technology will unveil a replacement for the Concorde in October. So remember the Concorde, the supersonic jet that would fly real fast? Then they had an accident, and they were noticing there were issues with several of them, and they landed them all, gone.
Yeah.
Well, XB-1 is the new supersonic jet. It'll reach top speeds of Mach 2.2, which, by the way, is 1,700 miles per hour. And there'll be room for 55 people. So there you go. That'll be the new... Would you want to fly on a supersonic jet? Do you want to go 1,700 miles an hour?
I don't think I do.
I've never been in that big of a hurry.
I guess once they've been around for a really long time and we can prove that they're safe, then maybe it would be great to get places faster.
They were super expensive to fly on the others, so I'm sure this is too. It's when you need to get from one country to another in a big old hurry. So, yeah, Boom Technologies, maybe not the name of the company you should be.
Probably not.
But it's because they make a sonic boom is why they call it that. A Florida man's viral outburst over Costco's mask policy cost him his job.
Oh, boy.
So he went nuts because he had to wear a mask, and then it went viral, and then all of a sudden he lost his job because people were
elsewhere.
If you don't want to do it,
shop
there's
elsewhere.
Rules, follow the rules. If you don't want to follow the rules, do something different. Vote with your wallet, as they call it.
That's right.
Africa now has more than 500,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19, and I haven't heard anything at all about that until just now. I just saw this story, so I didn't realize that. Italian beach nudists were fined as Italian authorities continue to enforce restrictions in order to curb the spread of lingering COVID. So there were people on the nude beaches, and they're like, hey, you're supposed to be wearing a mask or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what they were supposed to be wearing. This is a weird story. This was almost my weird news today, but it's kind of a short story, so it'll fit right here. A gorilla at the Miami Zoo was tested for COVID-19 after he was bitten by a brother gorilla. So another gorilla bit him. They tested both gorillas. They both tested negative, which is good news for the zoo because they're both essential animals. Because they're saying,
I was thinking animals couldn't get it. Maybe that's
apparently,
changed.
I think because there's some tigers that have it. And I don't know if any gorillas. I don't know. But I thought that was just a bizarre story. A Connecticut man broke into a lockdown restaurant, spent 4 days eating and drinking. So for 4 days, as this place was closed.
This guy.
No, this is a different one because the other one was somewhere else. This one's in Connecticut, and it just recently happened. So, yeah, because the other guy broke in. I don't remember what the place was. Wasn't it a movie theater?
It was a movie theater.
Yeah,
You're right. It was a movie theater.
And over here, I'm going to delete that story because I don't have time for that. But I have time for this. An Oregon man crashed a stolen car into an Oregon woman who was also driving a stolen car. And we do have the rest of that story coming up, I believe, later today because I've got the rest of the story. I think it's in our weird news. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show. MeTV has an original series called Collector's Call, and it's hosted by Lisa Lisa Whelchel, and she's joining us on the line right now. Lisa, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Well, we're excited to chat with you. We talked with you when this was just getting ready to launch on MeTV, and it sounded really exciting, and now it's been going for a while, and you've got quite a following. This is a really fun program. For people who don't understand what Collector's Call is, let's explain what that is.
Yeah, so I travel the country, and I find people with just amazing collections, and we highlight their collections. And I also bring an appraiser who just kind of tells us how much it's worth, but then also our appraiser brings an item that's been on our collector's wish list, but they have to make a trade with something they already own. And that's it's always interesting to see, because no matter how badly they want something, it's difficult for them to give up something they already have in the trade, because so much about the collection, it's never about the monetary value. It's always about the emotional value or the story behind it, the hunt, how they got it. And it's difficult to let go of something that's tied to the heart. And so that's kind of where the drama is.
And there's an episode that's coming up later this month. It's about Lucille Ball, and I'm really excited about that because my daughter's a huge I Love Lucy fan. She's got a collection, probably nowhere near as cool as the collection that's going to be featured, though, right?
Oh, no, probably not, because this one is incredible. But your daughter will love it because my favorite part about the show, I love learning, and I love learning about the collections, but I love the collectors, and this collector is no exception. Brian Watkins is a Lucille Ball female impersonator, and so, I mean, all of the collectors are completely all in with their collections. You can't have thousands and thousands of items of one thing and not be completely passionate and invested in more than one sense of the word in your collection. But Brian embodies literally his collection of Lucille Ball memorabilia. And he has, everything from the bullfighter hat that, any Lucille Ball, I Love Lucy fan will recognize the bullfighter hat that Desi Arnaz wore, but also family portraits that hung in Lucy and Desi's personal bedroom of their children. They also have what gifts, but then also just marketing things. I had no idea what a marketing genius Desi Arnaz was. So we also learned so much about Lucy and Desi and their business and their relationship. So your daughter is going to love what she recognizes and already knows about Lucy, but she's probably going to learn so much more about them personally and just about behind the scenes, the business aspect as well.
That is fantastic. And that episode is coming up on the 26th of July, Sunday the 26th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And there's a different episode each weekend. Over the course of has it been a year that you've been doing this? How long has this been going now?
Yeah, this is our second season.
So over the course of the last season and now the beginning of the second season, is there kind of a favorite episode that you've had a chance to be a part of, something that just really hit home to you?
Oh, man, that would be really hard to say because there's some of the episodes I love because I do remember the collections. They're from my own childhood, and so they evoke something in me from my own memories. And then there's so many episodes that I don't know anything about, and I love them because I've learned something. But I'll have to say that if I had to pick one, we did an episode highlighting Charlotte Ray's personal memorabilia. Charlotte Ray played Mrs. Garrett on The Facts of Life, and she passed in 2017. And her son called the other girls, Nancy and Kim and Mindy and I, and said he was going through his mom's belongings, and she had some duplicates, and would we be interested? And of course we were. But as he began to tell about some of the things he was finding in her treasures, I said, would you be interested in sharing those with her fans, letting us film some of her, her memorabilia for the show? And he was very interested in that. And it turned out to be such a gift, not only to me, but really to her fans, because I worked with her for 10 years. I knew her for 40 years, but I learned more about her filming that one show than I did the entire time I knew her, because her career spanned so many decades and in so many genres. And so she had like her Molly the Mail Lady hat from Sesame Street. She had her original recordings from an album. She had her Broadway posters. She had personal letters that she had written to Cloris Leachman that mentioned Paul Lynde. There was just so much about Charlotte that I learned from this show. So definitely that was my favorite.
That's really cool. And it kind of brings you back home to, Facts of Life, which is also part of your childhood. Now, how many years were you on the Facts of Life?
9 years.
That's had to be kind of a fun 9 years as well.
Oh, without a doubt.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. And thank you for doing what you're doing with Collector's Call. I think this is a really cool show. And we all get to kind of peek inside the homes of all of these people who are collecting. And there are some collections people didn't even realize people had these type of collections. But it's really cool that you're doing this and shining the light on that. So thank you.
My pleasure. I'm enjoying it. I'm glad you are too.
If there's somebody listening that wants to maybe feature their collection, how do they do that? Is there a way that they can maybe reach out and say, hey, I think this would be a fun episode as well?
Absolutely. We've got a really big following of people who love collecting and collections on Facebook and also just on the internet on Collectors Call. Just Google Collectors Call, go to metv.com. And there's a place for you to connect with other collectors and also reach out to the producers.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too.
Again, Lisa Whelchel is the host of Collector's Call. It's on MeTV. It's on Sunday nights. And I'm going to throw a link to all of the information in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Hunting unicorns is legal in Michigan. Okay. Lake Superior State University in Michigan offers a unicorn hunting license. Unsurprisingly, the chief herald of the unicorn hunters was once quoted saying, "The pursuit of the unicorn is a lonely quest. We wish them nothing but good luck." So I wonder how much it costs to get a unicorn hunting license from that place. So it's legal to hunt unicorns and you need a license. But they apparently don't. I don't know how many they sell.
It's probably just a joke.
Well, of course it is. But
Just a silly thing so you can say, hey, I've got this. It's like maybe
license.
a $2 laminated card or something.
We should start doing that. You could get
Everybody
your unicorn
knows
license
we don't
from
have
Heidi.
unicorns here.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. This is today's fun fact.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline England. A British grandmother who pretended to be blind and suffering from a debilitating illness, she scammed the government out of an eye-opening $1.2 million in benefits. So she was pretending to be blind, and I don't know how they found out that she wasn't, but they found out that she wasn't, and she's been in a little bit of trouble.
Yikes.
So, yeah, don't do that. That is today's news headline from somewhere in this world.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Time now for some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. An American couple was fined for defying orders to quarantine in Canada after crossing the border. David and Ann Sipple of Excelsior, Minnesota, were told to drive directly to their destination and self-isolate for 2 weeks when they arrived June 24th through Fort Frances, Ontario. But 66-year-old David and 65-year-old Ann were allegedly seen flouting the rules in various destinations around the border town. They were charged with failure to comply with an order or subjecting to any condition of the entry of Canada under the Quarantine Act. Each was hit with a $1,000 fine, which is about $738 U.S. currency, for not complying with self-quarantine orders. According to the latest figures, Canada has recorded more than 107,000 coronavirus cases, including 8,732 deaths. So they're saying, hey, this is nothing to mess around with, so they were not too thrilled. I've got a link to the story if you want to read the details. This is today's Weird News, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. A driver who led authorities on a 100-mile-per-hour chase drove off a cliff and into the Pacific Ocean. What? The chase started about 3:30 p.m. near Davenport in California, where sheriff deputies responded to a report of a man firing a handgun in the air, came across a suspect who had just been carjacked. Deputies gave chase. The motorist headed southward towards Santa Cruz, speeds of over 100 miles per hour. Deputies called off the pursuit as they were getting near the city over safety concerns for bystanders. The suspect, though, kept driving and ended up in the Pacific Ocean, less than a mile west of the city's famed beach steamer lane. Says here the department.
So did he purposely drive off or went off the cliff because he was speeding?
The department, whose officers responded to the beach, said the man got out of the vehicle and ended up on dry land. The suspect was safely taken into custody after climbing out of the vehicle. He stumbled upon the rocky shoreline. So I don't think he meant to do that. I'm not sure, though. I have no idea. But he drove.
He lived after driving off of a cliff.
Yeah, that's bizarre. That could have been today's weird news, but instead, because he did that, it was today's moment of duh.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. A Land O'Lakes, Florida man was arrested for breaking into 26 cars in a prison parking lot right after he was released. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say fake news.
You're wrong. It's a true story. That really happened.
26 was just such a specific
and it's a big number.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cars.
It's a lot of cars right out in front of a place like that.
Yeah, right in the prison parking lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was arrested for breaking into 26 cars in a prison parking lot right after being released from prison. So,
not a smart fellow. He must have wanted to go back.
Yeah, apparently he was like, I have nowhere to go, so I'm going to just do this.
There's a lot of people, sadly.
Yeah, that is very sad.
That just put me back in, you know?
Yeah, it's too bad. I've got a link to that story. It's in the show notes for today at JohnandHeidiShow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to JohnandHeidiShow.com. Again, JohnandHeidiShow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. And my page is opening slowly, but here it is. All right, here's the headline. I think this is actually really kind of a cool story. A woman takes a job as a dishwasher so she could visit her husband with Alzheimer's. So people do a lot of things for love. A Florida woman took a job as a dishwasher at the Florida Memory Care Unit to ensure that she would be able to see her husband every day.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Mary Daniel visits her husband. He has Alzheimer's, visits every day at the assisted living facility until they stopped allowing visitors because of the COVID pandemic.
Right.
Emergency orders kept them apart for over 100 days. Mary said the isolation took a toll on her 66-year-old husband. So when they offered a part-time dishwashing job, she jumped at the opportunity. She said, I told them I'm going to be the best dishwasher you've ever had because I want to be here, because I need to be with him. Before the pandemic, she helped her husband get ready for bed every night. They would watch TV together before she would tuck him in. She said that was our set routine. And then all of a sudden, I'm gone. And he doesn't know why. And he can't understand why. She tried window visits. She tried FaceTime. Her husband couldn't carry on a conversation. It just didn't really make sense to him. Mary worked on her first visit, her first dishwashing shift, July the 3rd, and Steve recognized her instantly, even with her mask on. She said, I walked into the room, and he smiled and said my name. She said it was such a relief, so when he said Mary and gave me the biggest hug, I mean, we both cried. It's just a really cool story. I've got a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.